welcome everybody to the book club, to the WPCTN's December book club. And tonight we're really excited to have our two authors, this dynamic mother and daughter duo with their signature red lipstick on. I got some red on too. I just knew
There you go.
psychically to put on my red.
Okay.
This is the okay. I gotta turn off that thing so y'all can. I won't blur out. Let me turn off my virtual non-blur. So this is the book. So Spoken Art, Too Brave to Back Down. So I hope you all have read it. And if you have not read it, please, after tonight, make sure that you go and grab this book. So that you can read and see the art. It's more than just the art book. There are some nice pieces in here where Rita really kind of shares a piece of her heart with us, and Brittany does too. So I'm really excited about this. So let's dive in, ladies. Want to dive in?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, well, let me do this. Let me back up a little bit. Why don't you tell everybody a little bit about you who may not know who are Brittany and Rita Mitchell?
Okay. So we're, like you said, mother-daughter duo, and authors and all things. You want to talk about our background a little bit?
Yeah, I can start. Of course, I know a lot of you, but I retired, I guess, 3.5 years ago from First Tennessee Bank, which is First Horizon. And after a 40-year financial services career, when I left First Tennessee, I was executive vice president and managed private banking. So my whole career has been in financial services, from having Mitchell Financial Inc. for 11.5 years, to being an investment advisor, to going back to banking, and then in executive leadership. And one of the goals when I retired was to write a book, and Brittany helped with that. Our first book, Own Your Phenomenal Self, which is a guide to character, success, and leadership. Book one. And I wanted to write a book, a short book like Who Moved My Cheese. I know when I read that back in 1986, I could read it. I read it in 1.5 hours or less, and it made me stop, reflect, and change. And so I knew all of those years that I wanted to write something that was short, that you could read on a plane or a train, and it would make you stop, reflect, and change. And so my 40 years of nuggets are in that book. And so when we've done a lot of things since then, but that gives you, and of course I'm a native Nashvilleian and grew up here and went to UT Knoxville. And so that's kind of me in a nutshell, and I'll turn it back to Britt.
Yeah, obviously I'm a native Nashvilleian because I'm her daughter, but I love people are like, well, where are you from, Brittany? I'm like, same place. But my background, so my passion has always been art. I mean, like second grade, I'm gonna be an artist. This is my passion. So, but my trajectory was very different. You know, by the time I went to college at UT, mom said, it doesn't make sense to major in art. You really need a business background. And so I started my career in marketing and international business because mom said, no matter what, if you're a talented artist, your art will sell, but you need to understand business to have a more well-rounded career. So from that trajectory, I've worked abroad. I've worked in France. I've worked in at a big Fortune 50 company in marketing and advertising, and moved to my dream city, New York, in 2019, where I now do sales in a ad tech marketing technology company. So my side gig the whole time has been supporting mom with her book, with her speaking, with her website, with her social media. And now that we've written this book together, we really are like, we're speaking together. We're doing workshops together. Like our dream is, you know, for Food Network or somebody to pay us to travel the world and eat and cook
and we did say get paid, right?
And yeah, they're going to pay us to do this.
Right, it's going to pay us to
and like create things. And so until then, we're going to keep doing what we do to make money, but we really want to build brands and be creative.
And then Brittany's officially my CMO. Right. So I am CEO and president of Rita P. Mitchell LLC, which is about living your best life. As Brittany says, we do podcasts, we write, we do workshops, I speak. We both speak. And so again, we're building out that brand of living your best life, and everything that we're doing is fitting into that umbrella brand.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. And Brittany, congratulations on getting alumni, top alumni 40 under 40 for UT Knoxville. Congratulations. Yes, that's awesome. That is
Excited.
wonderful. So yeah,
Wow.
so and y'all, but right now y'all in your Nashville home, correct?
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
good, good,
We
good.
are.
So we actually
So-
live together, and so we're back and forth. Both of us can work virtually anywhere, and Brittany, since COVID, she can work anywhere. So we're back and forth probably every 6 weeks to 2 months, back and forth, either to New York or back to Nashville.
Yeah.
Mhm. And then there's the little sprinkling into Florida and a couple other places.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, we gotta have some beaches now. You know, I gotta have a beach.
Gotta have the beach. Gotta have the beach. Okay, and so before we dive into tonight's book, of course, you know, we are sipping on a lovely cocktail because this is book club and it is 6 o'clock.
All right.
So Rita has her Jack, Brittany has her wine, Joyce has her wine, I have my whiskey. Tracy has her purple lights and her scary plant over. and I know that
We need for my bartender to show up.
Oh, you wait. Oh, and you have a cute
Okay.
bartender. You have a really cute bartender that's going to show up. And I know Sarah Lee is feeding her cat, so I don't know what you other ladies are sipping on, but hopefully you're sipping on something nice tonight as we talk about the book. So this fabulous cover, it is so like, I mean, it draws you, right? It pulls you in. It makes you want to know more. And what is this book about? So tell us about this cover and tell us about the genesis of this book.
Yeah, we'd love to. So the cover I painted, so I'll talk about it, let Mom jump in as we go through it. I mean, the origin is just, you know, we moved, like we said, we're back and forth between New York and Nashville. We were moving. My little 1-bedroom in New York was not going to work for my mom. So we moved.
Your 1 bathroom and 1 bedroom and a pull-out couch for 8 months is about all there is on that.
So we moved to a bigger place in New York. And I was like, you know, I really want to paint for the living room. But I was like, you know, Mom's got to approve whatever I'm going to paint because this is not a joke. And so I said, I want to paint 3 strong Black women. And I did 3 sketches. And I just wanted it, you know, like I said, I painted in high school, I painted in college, and painted for fun. But it was always like, you have to do it a certain way. It's got to be a certain shading. It's got to be a certain perspective. And I was like, I just want to do something fun. And so I was like, what could be more fun than big hair? And so I drew this woman. I wanted her face to look young, for her to be hopeful, got the red lipstick. And I was just like, let's make the fro like across, like it goes past the borders. And so she was the first one that I painted. And as I did it, Mom was like, oh my goodness, I'm inspired. I have to write a poem. And I was like, okay. And so then from there, I drew the other women. Then Mom wrote poetry, and Mom was like, I am these women. This is my life. So Mom, why don't you talk about like how the inspiration?
And so Brett, again, like she said, she wanted my approval because we had been looking for art and neither one of us liked any of it. And when she said she was going to paint, and so she made the 3 sketches, and I'm like, that's great. But as the first woman took form, and it's a big picture, and she started building it out, it reminded me of how I felt when I was 13, like when I was between 13 and 16. And so I'm like, you know, and of course, if you've read the book, and you may or may not know this, I divorced after 40 years of marriage, which is how we ended up living together. But I was in a very dark period the last, I guess, 2.5 to 3 years. And I love to write, and I could not write. I mean, it's like, I have nothing to say because I have to be inspired to write. I have nothing to say. Brittany's like, Mom, you should write. I'm like, I have nothing to say. What I'm going to say, they're going to put me in jail. And so when Brittany did the woman, the first girl, I said, you know, this is so weird. I think I want to speak to her. I think it's me. And so Brittany, I got up in the middle of the night. I said, I think I feel like writing. And I got up at midnight and I wrote what I thought this first girl was. And I wrote the poetry. And then the next morning I put in a Word doc, which, if you know me, I'm horrible with technology. And I'm like, Brittany, I put in the Word doc.
Better every day.
I know. I'm like, she said, what? And I'm like, I know. And so I spoke to the first girl because they were about me again when I grow up. So that's what I saw when I saw the girl. Just when I grow up, this is what I'm going to live. This is what I remember when I was that age. And then Brittany painted the second one. And then that spoke to me like, this is how I lived my life. And then
These are the
the
three.
third one is
First
my
one, and the second
legacy
one, and the
of,
third.
of me being a full grown-up woman today. And so what it did for me was
Hey, baby.
each picture, as she sketched them, as they turn into people,
Mhm.
as I told Britt, I said, I feel like all of these are me in different phases of my life. And I have something to say about each of these phases. And so that's where the poetry came from.
And we were walking and mom was like, because we get our steps in, and she was like, okay, the concept is called spoken art. And I was like, that sounds pretty cool. Let me do a Google search because I just don't feel like there are any more original ideas. I had not seen anyone, I mean, you've heard of spoken word, but I had never heard of spoken art. And she was like, and I think it's a book. And I was like, great. 3 pictures, 3 poems is a 6-page book. This is genius. So anyway, so then afterward, we were like, okay, what else? Affirmations are, and then your art, and what else is art? Powerful words, and like, let's make it a real book.
So
Those-
that's
long
where
answer,
that's a long explanation, but that's how the concept was birthed.
Yeah.
And it all began with the girl with the fro. I mean, it all began with this girl by herself, Brittany, just making this art for the wall, and the girl speaking to me.
Oh, you're on mute.
Lolita, you're on mute.
Sorry. I'm getting over a little sinus thing, so I keep coughing. That's why I want to make sure I put myself on mute. Well, the girl is really, I mean, she just, you're drawn to her beauty, her mystique. Like, you want to know, like, what is she thinking? What is going on in that little girl's head?
Yeah.
And so it's really interesting how you have identified with these 3 drawings and these 3 different stages of your life, and then in sharing this. So one of the things that struck me as I read this book was, first of all, the dedication, which is, this book is dedicated to anyone searching for inspiration, truth, affirmation, or simply a bright light in the darkness. What made you write that? What were you thinking when you said, this is what I want to put in the front of this?
Yeah, you really made it up. So why don't you speak to it?
Yeah, and so, the book started with the 3 pictures, but as you know, Lolita, I'm a big believer on vision boarding and affirmations, which speak words into power. And so the book is also a compilation of our affirmations that we both had during, I guess, over a course of 4 or 5 years. And the affirmations really help me get back to my purpose and my what, so that I didn't get lost in the sauce of somebody else's, that was happening to me. And then
I was just about to say, that's going to be part of my next question. So.
Yeah. So the affirmations are there. Obviously, the art spoke to me and I was inspired by the art in my life, but the affirmations are there to inspire people to think about who you are. Who you are, who you want to be, who you're not going to be lost to with. And also, and I'll let Brittany speak on this part, also the creativity that art brings out and other forms of expression. So we wanted to inspire people to go back to passion and purpose. What is it that excites you about living every day? And then to be inspired to own who you are, to own what you want to be and to define that. And so that's where the dedication came from. That's what we want to inspire young people and aspire young people. To inspire someone who's having a difficulty, who is struggling to figure out what to do, how to be, whatever all that is. So that's why that dedication is there. And Britt, I'll let you speak to
Yeah,
it.
the only other thing I'd add is it's more than just the beauty of it. It is also the, like Mom said, if you're having a dark moment, creativity can pull you out. So I made my affirmations when I was in a dark place. It was an art activity. Mom made hers, and like, it's therapeutic. Art is therapeutic. So we want it to be more than just like, it's beautiful, enjoy it, but like, use it for yourself.
So which affirmation speaks the most to each of you?
That's a good question. I think so. My favorite one of my affirmations is the world and everyone in it are working on your behalf and for your benefit. Because no matter like when things are really bad at work, I'm like, it must be awful because this is how it's going to get me. I'm going to get a new contact. I'm going to have it's moving me to a new direction. Like that's one that I can always lean on to get myself to stay positive. I don't know. Yours.
Yeah, and mine, all of them are really powerful, but I would say that, my religion, that I love God, the Father, and Jesus Christ the most of all, so that I'm going to work on pleasing them first, because then I'm centered on doing what's right, and not what other people think or what else is happening to me. But there's my faith is the core of who I am. And so if that's fundamentally who I am, then that should be the order of things for me. And so that I would say that's my anchor in all the affirmations for me.
Okay. Good. So I'm going to open this up a little bit. So does anyone here want to share an affirmation that maybe speaks to them? And that'd be one in the book, but one that you have for yourself.
Say that one more time, later.
So does anyone have an affirmation that they would like to share that speaks to them, that kind of helps and guides them? So I'll share mine. One of mine is just to control the controllables. And it sounds so simplistic, but we get so consumed sometimes with trying to take control of things that are outside of our control, that we lose focus on really being in control of those things in which we really do have that control over. And so that's how you get stressed, because you're like, I can't control what someone else. It goes back to mixing what the both of you just said. I can't control what someone else is thinking, what they're doing. I can just control me and how I react, how I respond, and what I am doing. And so just remembering that. And so that was something I got from a sales manager when I was in pharmaceutical sales. There's a reminder, because that can be very frustrating. It's like, just control the controllables.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
what-
I love
that's
that.
what mine.
I love that. I mean, that's a really strong anchor.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Does anyone else have one? What's that tidbit of wisdom you always give your
Tracy Rhodey always has one.
Well, I couldn't remember exactly how it went, so I had to look it up. It's a really short one from Mother Teresa that just says, not all of us can do great things, but we can do small things with great love.
Yes.
I just really try to remember that, because the smallest thing that you do or say, or even just being present to someone, can make a huge difference that you don't even realize.
Mhm.
And that's one that I really enjoy. And I have the delusion that everybody loves me. I know it's not true, but you know what I'm
I
saying.
think they do.
Well, so I think I operate from a place of that confidence, and that helps me.
Well, I would have to say that first one, you definitely live that out. You're always doing small things for people, small, great things for
so
people.
sweet.
It's true.
You're very sweet.
It's true.
I think all of us are. I think that's what we do as women.
Mhm.
Mhm.
That's we understand that, if you're in the grocery store and the person behind you drops their credit card, you pick it up for them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes. Today I was proud of myself because I had a cart full of stuff and somebody behind me just had a couple items. I was like, oh, you can go ahead. Because I'm gonna be a minute. You just got those two little things. Go ahead. I felt so
Yeah.
good.
It was generous. There you
Yeah.
go.
And she
Yeah,
felt
I really hope
so
that-
appreciative.
And I
Yeah.
was really hoping a couple of days ago when I was that person with 2 items behind that person with a bazillion items would be that nice too. They were.
Not always. So I will share this and then we'll move on. So so some of you know I teach Sunday school. And so I was teaching Sunday school on Sunday. And so one of the persons said that when they're in the line sometimes for fast food, how they'll pay it forward. And they don't ask. They don't ask what the total is because they don't want any excuse of why they can back out. So they just
Oh.
pay it. And they said that their grandchild was like, Grammy, like, why are you all, you know how much it is? She's like, nope, I don't even want to know. I don't want to know. I just want, because I want to go ahead and just do this for this
Okay.
person. Because if I know the total, I said, yeah, they might be ordering for their whole office. You don't know.
I think I've never heard
I've
of that.
never
I think
heard of
that's
that.
really a great gift.
That's nice.
Yes, yes, that whole
I
pay
think
it
that-
forward.
Oh, I do that all the time.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
I need to
somebody
get
did it for me
behind
one
you.
time. Somebody did it for me one time.
Okay.
Paid mine in front of it. So like I am forever now, like, we'll just say, hey, pick up the person's behind me.
Man, I've never
Because
thought about
somebody did it.
that. I never
like
thought
that.
about
Somebody did it
that.
for me.
I never thought about it. I think that's
nice.
really
That's
great.
a really nice one.
It is nice. That's nice.
Yes, I've heard of them. No one's ever done that for me, but I need to get
Gotta get
behind
behind
you.
Joy.
I need to get behind you. I need to find when Joyce is going to the restaurant. I need to get behind her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so moving right along in the book. So let's talk about some of the details in the art, particularly I think it's the Bourdain piece.
Yeah.
That you talk about. So share with us a little bit of your thoughts behind that.
Yeah, so that one was interesting because before Anthony Bourdain died, I was working on a lot of pieces that were just women who inspire me and words next to them. So like Adele, hello. I was doing just like, what are some quick, small paintings
Okay.
with women I love. Yeah, you can, Mom can hold it open and you can pull the, keep scooting over. You
that
got
way.
it? There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
I cannot
So
see it.
that piece, yeah, I think they can see it, but I think
Okay.
it might be backwards. But
Oh.
anyway, so,
You want to do it?
yeah, well, I'll pull it back.
Okay.
in. But when he died, I said, well, as much as I love to cook and travel, and I used to watch his show all the time, I can't not do an homage to Anthony Bourdain. So I took a picture of him, did the sketch and everything. And in the bottom, I just wrote his name, A. Bourdain. And all of the other paintings had had some kind of color in it, whether it's Adele's green eyes or, like red lips, what have you. With Anthony Bourdain's in his name at the bottom, I did a black line and I did a colors, I think green, blue, orange. And that line is that his life was cut short. And so he was such a vibrant and he was full of life. If you ever watch an episode, he was just fearless and traveling the world and his passion for life. To know that his life was cut short, I really wanted to indicate it without being obvious. And so that's what I did with that painting.
Mhm. I love that. I love that you did that. I know. And you think he's living like the best life.
I
Right.
know.
Yeah, but you just never
You never
know.
know.
Yes,
know.
I love that you did that.
Yeah.
So now I want to open it up. So has anyone else experienced spoken art before? Or participated in spoken art? What does spoken art mean to the two of you?
I mean, for me, it really means art that inspires you to speak. I mean, it inspires. What happened to Mom. She saw the art, but she came up with the term. She saw the art. She was inspired to write a poem. I mean, like, I think when I did the paintings before we had even made up this concept, like when I did Alicia Keys, I wanted to move to New York, did Alicia Keys, did New York in the background, concrete jungle where dreams are made from, because the picture wasn't enough. It was like, I want some words to help drive the picture home. But I don't know, Mom, you want to say more?
Yeah, and the best way, because I told Brett, the best way for me to describe what I felt, I don't know if you probably know Jill Scott, but Jill Scott has a song that talks about her being in love and it being in love with this. And I remember she was in a relationship with this man, whoever this man was, because she was singing about him, talking about him. He did all this stuff. She just loved this man. And in one of her songs, she starts out with the song doing poetry. So the song is like, I can't know the words,
I
but
think the song is He Loves Me.
He Loves Me.
Yeah.
And so she's like, so she starts out poetry. So, and it's something she
I
wrote.
knew it. I knew that's what you
Yeah.
were talking about.
Yeah, that's it. And so she
Yeah.
starts out saying, and when I wake up, he makes me feel this, and it's poetry. And then as she goes on, he drives her to chorus. And so she begins to sing because that's how she felt. And so to me, the spoken art is like that. It's like, it's like the art is moving me to speak to it, just like she's saying from the words to her voice, because the words themselves weren't enough. And that's how when I said it was spoken art, I was like, that's what it made me do. It made me want to write to the poetry. I mean, write to the picture. So it made me wanted to speak out the art. Like Brittany said, it's not just the picture just wasn't enough. I wanted to speak to it. I wanted to put words around it so the art itself then took on a whole depth of life in and of itself, where you don't have to guess what I feel about it. You know, when you go to a museum and you look at art and you say, I wonder what they thought about when they wrote that, or when they made that art. You know, went to see Van Gogh.
Yeah.
When he drew that picture, what was he thinking? Because you don't really know. So to me, spoken art gives you what I think. So this is the art, and my words tell you what I think. So you're clear that this is what the art did when I saw it. So that's what it means to me.
I think that's quite powerful.
Yeah.
That to see a piece of art and it drives you to want to write and to
Right.
put words to that art. I mean, we've all seen great pieces of art, but not necessarily have been moved to put words to that.
Right.
So I think that speaks to a different type of inspiration and creativity that is within you. And I think that's probably maybe a little surprising to people, given that you come from this banking background. And so you don't traditionally think of corporates with that level of creativity. But to me, it says that there is this creative energy that is within you that would drive you to do that. So just like Brittany is driven to use her creativity and is motivated to put her stuff on canvas in an artistic way, you are too, but yours is just with words, which is very fascinating.
Well, in the fashion. Go ahead.
Oh, that's right, you are fashion. Yes.
So quick question, because I have like zero creativity in my bones. I mean, zero. I mean, so do you all think that everybody has some kind of creativity? It's just whether or not they know how to use it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. When you said you have no creativity in your bones, it's just not true.
That's not true.
It's just not true. You just,
Somewhere.
yeah, you what you think of creativity is probably in this box.
Mhm.
And you're saying, I can't paint, I can't draw, I can't, so I'm not creative. But everybody has, that's the other reason for the book. Everybody has a creative side. And so, I mean, I love doing flowers. I mean, I have a fashion merchandising degree, so I accidentally fell into finance. That was not what I wanted to do. I just couldn't get a job in what I wanted to do. So Joyce, there are things that are unique to you that you're just not putting them in the box. But everybody has creativity. Everybody creates. I mean, you know, you get up in the morning, you're creating something. That could be cooking, that could be travel, that could be flowers, that could be.
It could be putting together a party the way you put together your parties. Like, I mean, you are
Correct.
creative, Joyce. It's just
Correct.
like, as Rita said, it's not in the narrow box of what you typically would define it.
Right.
You are.
Right.
Yes.
So I would say with Sarah Lee, are you there?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to tell this on Sarah Lee because it happened like a year ago right now when our friend, and you wouldn't think of this about Sarah Lee for all of us to know Sarah Lee, but our friend Phyllis Williams died a year ago this Saturday, okay? And I remember distinctly Sarah Lee calling me up like 2 days afterwards and just calmly saying, can we pray over the phone about this? And her words and what she did to me was like, oh my God, nobody ever, you know, you just wouldn't, you know, Sarah Lee was my book woman. She wasn't the person who was going to pick up the phone and say a prayer.
Right.
And it was the most creative, I shouldn't say creative, but most thoughtful prayer.
Yeah.
And those kind of, so I go, Sarah Lee had, you know, can do that, you know.
Joyce, you do so much that's creative that you don't even realize. So, I mean, you're always hosting something for someone, your wine dinners, and that takes some creativity, right? So it's the thought of curating an experience that people have. That's creativity. So it may not be, poems or words or art or music, but it is embodied a little differently. But you are
And
very
I would
creative.
say you have a 15-year-old and 12-year-old. I'm sure that you are creating life experiences for them.
Mhm.
And so, I mean, that's what you do as
I'm not
parents.
sure I'd go that far
Life
yet.
experience.
I'm not sure I'd go that far yet.
You will, you are. And so everybody has a creative
Mhm.
side. And that was also what we wanted the book to do,
Mhm.
was for you to think about that.
So
Right?
Brittany,
Just like you're saying you're not, that means you're thinking about this, right? And so
Right.
that's what we wanted to
so
do.
Brittany, did you see your mom as this creative person growing up, or did you see her as the banker?
Yeah, I saw it because I knew she came from fashion. So it's like this. Mom hasn't been paid to use her fashion degree, but I've been getting the benefit of her fashion degree my whole life. Everywhere we go, she pick out something and she say, "You should try this on." I'm like, "That I hate it. I don't want to try it." I tried it on. I'm like, "This is the best." And so at this point, I just go to her closet. I just take things. So I'm taking these shoes. I'm taking this jacket. I mean, like her sense of fashion, and then how she decorates the home and how she does the flowers, like it's always been creative. And so, I didn't really get the banking thing. I got like the creative thing all the time. So look, my friends would come over in high school and she would not let us leave the house unless everyone was wearing lipstick. It was very,
Yeah, I would take them
she
shopping.
was like,
Yeah, yeah,
everybody's a Barbie, come let me do my thing. So
yeah.
Love it. Love
My
it.
former boss used to say about lipstick, always put on your lipstick and always speak to everyone that you meet, include it, because you never knew when their wife might drop dead over the holidays.
What?
whoa.
Okay, well, I didn't know you were gonna go there with that.
Between that and Tracy's like grow lights and scary plant thing, I don't know where to go.
Yeah, that's
You,
close.
Annabelle, that you wouldn't be surprised.
Sincerely appreciate that comment.
There you go. Who knew?
Hey.
You're telling secrets.
Okay, so let's open it up for a few questions. I know there's one question already in the chat, and that is, where can people purchase the book?
Oh, okay. You can, I know for this session specifically, I'll just look in the chat. I think you guys get a 10% discount at Parnassus. I think that's still, so you have that code. I don't know if it's an email. But we're also in Barnes and Noble, we're also in Amazon, so there are other places, but I know you guys get a special discount with Parnassus.
And Barnes and Noble is where you can get the hard copy.
Yeah.
So if you want it as a table,
online.
if you want it as a table, a coffee table book,
Mhm.
and you want the hard
Parnassus Parnassus though has the signed copies, right? Didn't you all do some signed copies for Parnassus?
No, we haven't done signed copies with Parnassus yet, but obviously we're in Nashville, so if anyone wants their book signed, can just meet you. We'll sign it. Yeah, Lolita. Yeah, she's got it.
Mhm.
Okay, and so tell us about what's behind you. What's that fabulousness?
Oh, Brittany, yeah, you got a fashion. Okay,
So we turned our art book into a fashion line, because the long story short, when we were creating the book, Mom said, "Well, can't you sell the art?" I said, "I'm not selling the art." She was like, "Can't you like make a print and sell the prints?" I said, "Well, I sort of have an online store from 5 years ago that I can upload
And I'm
art
like, what are you
and
talking
put it on
about?
clothes and bags and shoes and
Yeah,
curtains."
and so this is an interesting story because, again, we told you that we had the first book we did. So we were doing the second book, and Brittany did all this art in here, and then she's been an artist, but she never really wanted to sell her art because it takes too long to make it. So it's like,
Right.
I have it, but I don't want to sell it. I'm like, I don't really know how that's gonna work out for you. And so we did this whole thing, and I was like, well, can't you like make a print? I mean, don't you want to sell something? I mean, don't you want to sell this? Can you not make a print? And then she tells me about this art store that she's had for 5 years. And then she can just like upload the art onto design. And then she whips this out now. Here's here's my art and a dress and a pocketbook and a bedspread and a shoe and a this. And I'm like, how do I not know about this?
So when we showed the art at Cheekwood, we ordered a bunch of things from the site, and then we had like a little store. And so it's redbubble.com, that the website's in the book, but I can send it out. I don't know.
So you should get, why don't you pull
one?
something? I don't care. You pull it and bring it closer so they can see, because that's far away.
So we'll do.
Now, she just mentioned Cheekwood. So when you were at Cheekwood, people wrote affirmations when they came by.
Yeah.
And so what did you do with those?
Well, Cheekwood kept them, in fact. And so, you know, we had, not everybody came to our exhibit, but in that weekend, that was the first African-American art festival that Cheekwood we did. And so there were 2,500 people that came all the way through. And so our room was set up for kids, grown-ups, anybody to make an affirmation for themselves and then to make an affirmation for someone they cared about. So we had affirmation states. Brittany, you showing me?
I'm just
Let me stop talking,
Yeah,
Brittany. You know, no, stop talking because
I'm
no.
just showing us
Okay.
close, but you can talk about the affirmation.
So people, I mean, we had them all strung up and it was just really fantastic. The kids wrote affirmations, and you know, we had the whole windows were covered up. And so I don't know what Cheekwood kept them.
No, we
They
have
do
them.
we have
We have them.
Okay, so we have
We
them.
have all of them.
Oh,
We
I
don't
didn't
know
know
what
that.
we're doing with them yet.
Okay,
but,
so we're not doing it. So we have them. Okay,
we have
I don't know.
them.
Yeah, nothing yet. We'll figure out something to do. But we've got, it was a really
hundreds of
inspiring
them.
weekend. Yeah, there were hundreds of them.
Okay, so what's next for the book, or what's the next book?
Yeah, the next book is a cookbook. So we cook all the time. And so, you know, we have a legacy of cooking in our family. So my great grandmother, mom's grandmother taught her how to cook. And so we have all these family recipes that we use all the time. And mom's goal in life is for me to have children. And so
For sure.
when I have children,
That's her goal. Her goal is to
Yeah,
do that.
that is my personal goal. I do want a husband first, if we can manage that, but that is my personal goal for her to have children, which would be my grandchildren.
So I was
Just be
like-
clear about that.
let's do a legacy cookbook. So we cook all the time. We have all the stuff written down again in a Google Doc. And so we're trying to like, can we narrow it down to a good set of recipes? And then, you know, now that we know how to self-publish, can we, you know, just publish a cookbook?
So we're working on that.
That's what we're working
We're
on.
working on that.
Okay.
And of course, we just finished doing Pinterest Global Conference on vision boarding with their 3,000 employees. And we
Yeah.
did it East Coast, West Coast, Tokyo.
Yeah, so we did Tokyo time, APAC, and then Dublin time, so in Europe. And then we did obviously West Coast, East Coast. But we're right now, like while we're arguing over like how to make the fried chicken. I mean, like while we're doing that, we're
Let
like,
me be the taste tester. Let me just be the
Yeah.
taste tester.
Yeah, we will let you be. In fact, I'm going to do a cooking class with
yeah.
a couple of friends
pilot.
they want to learn how to fry chicken. So I'm doing that when I get
Yeah.
back. Yeah. So I will be doing, we are doing stuff. with
But while we're figuring that out, we're like, well, this vision boarding workshop really worked well, and it was virtual while people are still figuring out COVID. So I'm reaching out to my contacts to say, hey, is your company doing a conference, or you have a women's ERG? Do you want us to come in and do like, you know, a vision board light? I mean, it's how do you write an affirmation? How do you create your vision board by yourself? Because what mom does, as you know, Alita, what mom does with her clients individually is pretty hands-on. So, you know, we're trying, how can we replicate that for a larger group?
So we're doing that, and we're doing
Yeah.
the different workshops, and
Yeah.
we're still doing podcasts, and trying to figure out how we get paid.
Right, gotta get paid with it.
Gotta get paid. We
I
gotta get
think that- I
paid.
think that's fabulous. I think you all should do like the Whole Foods cooking class kind of situation, you know, with the pairing of the wines and the.
We'll
making
figure that out. I didn't think
Yes.
about Whole Foods. Yeah, we
Yes,
should.
yes, that would be fun. You know, people like Kathy Bender who, you know, pay for those kinds of things with their clients. That would be fun.
Oh, okay. I didn't think about, we
Yeah.
were thinking about, yeah, I'm gonna have people over here. It's like, Mr. Brenda's like, Mom, you should do it. You should do it. Can I invite my friend? And I'm like, okay, great. We'll just start with that. And so we'll just see how that
Because
goes.
the knowledge is lost. I mean, I have friends that don't know how to like make toast, and I'm like, oh my goodness, you know, and they're like, well, their parents didn't cook. Like, you know, nobody cooks, so they don't know basic stuff. And so
I know Brittany, somebody didn't know how to make cheese toast. I'm like,
Yeah,
how
they
do you
didn't.
know how to make cheese toast? Oh my goodness. I mean, this is like a desert out there, man.
we're like, okay, we're gonna do rice. We're gonna do like some
basic
basic,
stuff.
we'll do some basic
Yeah.
stuff. But
Yeah.
His Grubhub, Uber Eats, and all those things for those
Yeah.
who use their ovens as a place to store their sweaters.
right,
Oh.
I have friends who do that. They would store their clothes in the cabinets in the kitchen. I was like,
Wait,
what are you doing?
Lolita, we went to one of Britt's, this is
Yeah.
getting off on a tangent.
Yeah.
We went to one of Britt's friends' place in
In
New
New
York. They're Korean, and she's Asian.
No, she's Chinese.
he's Korean.
He's Malaysian. And in there, they use the oven as storage.
Right. They opened up the oven, and that was like all of her pots were in there. And I'm like,
With
What's-
like plastic. on
with
the pot.
plastic on the bottom, and she went in to get a pot out. And I'm like, what do you have in there? And it was like the oven is a storage unit. And then, I mean, the cabinets are like closed. I mean, the kitchen is
Like
not a
baby
kitchen. It's
supplies,
like,
yeah.
it's like
Closet.
storage.
It's like a closet.
And I'm like, what are y'all, what? I can't even relate to this. And
Yeah.
this is
That's
what.
a good
young
idea,
people are
actually.
doing.
No, don't do that.
No, anyways, so we.
No, I'm a
we've got
cooker.
whole lot of
I'm a
interest in
cooker.
cooking.
It won't work.
Yeah.
All right. So before we run out of time here, does anyone else have a question?
Sarah Lee?
I'm good. I'm just enjoying listening.
And the other thing, Lolita, we thought we ended, because we didn't know if people have questions or not. We thought we'd end it with our 5-minute video on vision boarding that we ended with Pinterest. It's 5 minutes, and it'll wrap up kind of affirmations, vision boarding, what we're doing, which is fundamentally what this book is about. And so we made it for the conference, and Lolita knows on the vision boarding, we have stuff come off the vision board all of the time. And so we've had 8 major things come off of our vision boards probably in the last 4 years. I had to do another one when I got divorced. Obviously my vision board was not going to be the same vision board. And so I had to make a new vision board, I guess almost 2 years ago,
On
Mother's Day. And so, but together we've done 2 vision boards in the last, I'd say 4 to 5 years. And out of that, 8 powerful things have come off of the vision board. And so we thought it would be good to end with that. And hopefully that might inspire you guys, if you haven't bought the book, to buy the book. And I'm also going to sell here because this is a great Christmas gift. It's a great Christmas gift to give to kids, to young teenagers, to anybody that I just found out a friend of mine has cancer. And I sent a book today and said, you know, this is hopefully, you know, you're my thoughts and my prayers. But this is a great book to inspire, or somebody's in a dark place, or you want to help a kid see that they're creative. I mean, it's a lot of uses for this. And so we need to be trying to sell it more than what we're doing. But I wanted to end with that, and then end with the affirmations once we answered all the questions. The video.
Yeah. I think it's perfect. Yeah, we can dive right on to the video. And welcome, Judge Escobar. You popped on after we started. So glad to see you here too.
All
Thank
right.
you. Thank you.
Lolita and Joyce, thank you guys so much for
Yes,
giving us the
thank you.
opportunity to run our mouth for an hour.
Oh,
I
yeah.
loved it. I
Yeah.
think it's fabulous.
Okay, so we're going to end
We'll
it.
play this. Hopefully the sound.
Hopefully the sound will
it's
be
on
there.
YouTube, worst case, but
So before you start,
okay.
so the title of the conference that we did is "The Biggest, Boldest, Bravest, Life-Changing Affirmation You Can Make is Vision Boarding." And as we talked about affirmations really help you put a stake in the ground as to who you are and what you are not willing to give up. What are you, what you want to be. And so when you think about what affirmations do individually, a vision board then becomes the biggest, boldest life affirmation, because it's your vision on a board,
One snapshot.
on a snapshot. And so that's why it's called that. And then I'll stop, and then we'll just end with this. Fingers crossed. So on my vision board, almost 2 years ago, Too Brave to Back Down is on this. And that's the name of the book, is Scope and Art, Too Brave to Back Down. And here it is. This was my first book. Own Your Phenomenal Self was already on there, but it was a bestseller. So all this came off the vision board. The second woman is the Renaissance woman. 100% Boss is the name of the woman. And then here is my fashion. It's always been on my vision boards because I knew sometime one way in my life I'm getting married fashion. I did all this like I'm like I don't know how this is gonna. I don't know what's gonna happen. We're gonna do summer fashion, and now we have a fashion line.
Is that
All
what?
of this is from the vision board.
What? Yeah, it's nice.
It's 7:30 a.m. on Saturday, August 14th.
Our first exhibit.
Our first art exhibit.
Official,
Of the century. You're a poet. I'm an artist, and we about to do some work.
Very good.
Welcome to London. We're gonna go have some seafood
Seafood.
in Montego Bay,
Correct.
Jamaica.
Jamaica.
Yeah.
And so we're doing all this together, the cooking show, the cooking book, all the things that we're doing is to create a family legacy that will be lasting and an opportunity for her and my future grandchildren. That
She
will
does
be
a lot
coming.
for my future children.
Yes,
a lot.
the future children that are coming, okay, those, that continuum. So that's what we're doing.
Did she put pressure on you about that? I'm just curious.
I mean, no more pressure than everything else, but yeah, it's understandable. Like when she bought her car, she's like, it's a lot of space for the future children. I was like, if I could get the future husband, then we could talk about the future children.
Well,
but-
we're doing him first. We'll get that together.
Is he on the vision board?
Yeah, oh, he is.
Oh, he is.
Oh, he is, yeah.
He's on her vision board, not directly on my vision board. The grandchildren are my vision board. So they, this is coming through.
It's coming. All right.
And
That
that is it.
is it.
And,
Escape.
Very cool. Very cool. Thank you for
Okay.
sharing. Thank you for spending your time with us. Thank you everyone for being here. And Rita and Brittany, this book, yes, if you don't have it, please grab it. It's a great girlfriend gift too. To get it, if people buying gifts for their girlfriends. This is a great gift to give. Joyce, do you want to make an announcement about WPCTN? What's coming up next?
We are starting to work on our programming for next year. So if you all have ideas, please toss it out to us. I just sent a text while we were all talking to Sarah Lee and said, start thinking about books for next year. So we're open for new book ideas and we're open for programming ideas. Jenny Charles will be sworn in, or not that we have swearing in. She will become the new president in January. So we're looking forward to it.
Yay, Jenny. Yes, thank you, Joyce, again
Thank
for
you.
organizing
This
this.
has been amazing.
Yes,
You all
it has.
so much fun. Just
It's been
to-
fun.
awesome.
It was fun. Thank you
It's a
guys
lot of
again
fun.
for allowing us the opportunity
Yeah,
to
it was
share.
so much fun.
All right. Well, happy
Merry
holidays,
Christmas.
everyone.
All
Have a
right.
great day.
Okay,
Thank you
bye.
all. Bye.
Bye.